Peace, peace, and more peace. This is Visions of Peace back again with a follow-up video to the first one that I posted. The video that I posted was a video from 4 years ago when I was going through my miscarriage. It's something that I held on to and never watched, but I recorded it in order to help others because I knew how helpful watching other videos on YouTube from women who went through a miscarriage, was going through a miscarriage, helped me through my process. So this is a follow-up video that would just touch briefly on the tools that I use to facilitate healing into my life from the miscarriage. Now, as most of you may know, I am a 500-hour certified yoga instructor. I received my 200-hour certificate in May of 2020, the same year that I had the miscarriage. I had the miscarriage in October 2020. Yoga has helped me heal. It's helped me heal my life, but specifically, I'm going to just talk about the miscarriage. The tools that I learned in yoga came into full play during and after the miscarriage. So after the miscarriage, I was in a pretty dark place. It was the most challenging, stressful, frustrating moment of my life. And I didn't know what to think, say, or do. I was hiding a lot of my feelings, and I was definitely in a deep depression. I didn't speak about it as much as I probably should have, and I spent a lot of time hiding. I was hiding it as the best that I could from my husband. I remember having feelings like, if he truly sees how dark this place is that I am in right now, he may leave me. Now, he has never made me feel that way. However, I just know how difficult it is to deal with people when they're in that state of mind. And for so long, it was months. I did seek therapy. The first thing I did, of course, was try different methods at home. And the methods that I was trying wasn't helpful, right? Hiding, acting like it wasn't happening, acting like I wasn't going through those feelings anymore, just pretending, that wasn't working. So then I did seek out therapy, which is not new to me. So I knew I needed therapy, and I went and I sorted out, and therapy did help somewhat. God helped me through most of this healing process. However, I was very angry with God during this process. I needed to bring in other tools that would be helpful through this process, and that's where yoga came in. Most people think of yoga as poses that you do on a mat, right? Warrior 2, Warrior 1, down dog. For me, yoga is so much more than that. And for many people, yoga is so much more than that. My favorite part of yoga is the Yamas and the Niyamas. During my yoga training practice, if we could have spent 50% of the time diving into that portion, I would have been ecstatic, but it's so much to cover. There's usually separate courses on the Yamas and Niyamas. It's just too much to cover. And I decided to bring those tools in. I concentrated on the Yamas. Now, the Yamas are principles and practices that are really specifically related to how you treat others. They're restraints on how you treat others. But I flipped it. And I related those principles directly to myself. Now, I want to say, not that it's not meant to be practiced in that way. I'm sure many people use those practices for themselves and others, but they are geared towards how we treat others. But my logic of that is, how can I apply these principles to others if I have not applied them to myself? Right? In order to give love, we have to know how to love ourselves. In order to love fully, we have to know how to love ourselves. So I started to one by one go through these different practices and work on them through myself. For the Yamas, these practices are Ahimsa, non-harming, non-violence. I was harming myself in so many ways with my thoughts and words. I was blaming myself for the miscarriage. I thought it was my fault. I thought that maybe, before I found out I was pregnant, we went skydiving. Maybe it was that. Maybe it was the fact that I did some yoga poses that are not really suitable for pregnant women. Maybe I ate something. Maybe I just wasn't taking care of my body the way I needed to, and I caused it. I blamed myself so much. I came up with all kind of reasons of why it was my fault. Where Ahimsa came in for non-harming and non-violence, it relieved me of that blame. Satya, which is truthfulness. Was I telling myself the truth about what happened? How many lies was I telling myself? I was convinced that my body betrayed me. I was convinced that my uterus hated me. I was convinced that I was just cursed. And I was telling myself tons of lies. It was time for me to start telling myself the truth. And I used Satya to help me through that process. Asteya, non-stealing. I was stealing the joy out of my life. The joy that I felt, the memories that I had from the joy that I felt when I found out I was pregnant. The pictures that I took, I wouldn't look at them. All of that became toxic to me, and I hated it all. And it was a reminder of a miscarriage instead of a reminder of the pregnancy, me falling in love, me starting to nurture myself in the healthiest of ways. I stole that joy away from myself. So yeah, Asteya helped me bring that back into my life. Brahmacharya, right use of energy. Man, I was putting energy into the most darkest places of I was putting my energy into the most darkest places. And it was keeping me in this dark place. I had to switch that around and think about, how can I truly utilize my energy for my own benefit and not for my own destruction? Because believe me, I was destroying myself piece by piece. And Aparigraha, non-attachment. The last and hardest stage of this entire process for me. I did a whole lot. I saw several doctors. I found out that, my fallopian tubes weren't blocked, and all these things that I thought was happening to me were not happening. However, I still was not able to conceive again. And being able to Accept the fact that I may not ever be a mom was one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with in my life. And if you are where I'm at, if you have gotten pregnant and have had miscarriages, if you always wanted children and are not able to bear them, you know what I mean. That was the hardest part, the non-attachment, being able to detach from the fact that I may not be a mom to my own children that I bear. Aparigraha got me through that, and the practice of it got me through that. So I'm a visionary, and you probably are too. And I like to bring things into life that is helpful, that is beneficial, that is healing, that is peaceful. And I had to bring that into my life before I was able to truly bring that into others' lives. And yoga, the practice of yoga, the entire practice of yoga has got me to this point that where I do feel as if the healing that I needed to go through, specifically in regards to this miscarriage especially, a big part of it came from the practice of yoga. I'm no longer mad at myself. I'm no longer mad at God. I no longer blame God. Man, I blame God a lot. I felt I was being punished. I felt I was a victim. I didn't know why this was happening, and that's all I was concerned about, was the why. And I do want to say, you know, people feel that healing means you never think about it again. You don't cry about it. You're not, you know, feelings don't come up that, you know, don't feel good. All those things still happen, although you're healing and although you may be healed. Grief is a whole nother beast. As far as I'm concerned, I think that people grieve their entire lives for their loved ones. It may not be on the same level as time goes by, but it's continuous. I've lost my dad and I still grieve him. I lost one of my best friends, my sister, Tamara, and I still grieve her. And I've lost 2 children and I still grieve them. Although I do feel as if I am healing and as if healing has happened. Grieving just comes and it goes, and it comes in different levels as time goes by, but that hole still remains in your heart. So don't feel like, you know, you're not doing something right or something's wrong. You know, the perception of healing with different people, it changes. For me, healing means being able to get up in the morning and still feel good, being able to still pursue my dreams and my desires, not being in that dark place where, you know, thoughts of what your worth is, thoughts of if you deserve to live, if you deserve to be a mom, if you deserve to parent. All those thoughts were happening to me, like, do I deserve to be a mom? Maybe that's why this happened. Maybe I didn't deserve it. Those thoughts were killing me. So I no longer have those thoughts. Through the power of God, through the principles of yoga, I was truly able to heal myself from those type of thoughts, from those type of words, from those type of behaviors. And now I feel as if I grieve in a healthy way. So that was just, you know, a little touch of my healing process through my miscarriage. Please share, you know, your thoughts. If you've been through a miscarriage, please share what has helped you heal. And I'll continue to come back again to discuss yoga, healing, trauma, emotional intelligence, happiness, joy, manifestation, all things visions of peace. As always, if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Please keep comments kind, and that's how I move. I move with love. Please try to keep the comments in the same alignment, and I'll check you again. Peace.